24 hours have passed ever since I have glued down the aluminum foil, and it's about time to start trimming it. The white glue beneath should be sufficiently dry. Of course, underneath the aluminum foil there are a couple of air bubbles that need to be cut open and fixed, but that is actually not such a big problem. First of all, I'm taking a pair of scissors and I remove the aluminum foil. Well, it's quite nicely working out. Just ripping it off here, but gotta be careful not to damage the Sea-Scape, even though it will receive a covering layer of color that won't show any nicks in the aluminum foil. Better taking the scalpel. Adding another strip of Tamiya tape to the edges that will be used as a guideline for scalpel cutting. Alright, now all the aluminum foil is cleanly cut along the edges, and now it's time to evacuate all these little bubbles that are in the aluminum foil. This can be done with the flat cuts upon which the aluminum foil should be put up flat onto the surface. Never mind the problems of the open surface right now. This will be solved by adding paint on top. Now I will be needing the white glue. Where have I put it? I think it's next door. Now just make sure that wherever you have cut the aluminum foil, there's a bit of white glue brought onto the surface to seal in the edges of the aluminum foil. Just give it a liberal approach. Take another old brush and make sure the white glue is worked into the cuts. Okay, this needs a bit of drying time. Of course you can use a hair blower or something like that to speed up the process. Okay, we are back and all the white glue has sufficiently dried. There's a few bits and pieces where the glue is not all set yet, but that's not so bad really, but we can go on with our procedure. The next substance of choice for creating the sea base is just regular hardware store wall paint. This should be, of course, well stirred. I've done this prior to starting this video, so you won't see me stirring this paint. This paint will shape the surface of the water mostly. However, to get a good covering effect, there should be an initial layer of paint applied to the base in the first step, just so you have a good you have a well prepared surface. Yeah, and here's another thing I was talking about, using good tools. Buying cheap brushes like this one here can have negative effects, just like having hair bristles from the brush all over. You can start to dab the color on to get a good covering effect. It should not be too thick, otherwise the surface is going to crack. Okay, this is enough for the first go. This needs drying time, so we'll give it a break. See you later. Okay, about 24 hours later, the paint has fully dried, and as a next step I'm taking acrylic gel as a compound to smooth over the waves, because at this point they're just not looking very natural really, and so there's some work to be done to get them into a good shape. As well, the acrylic gel fills up cracks in the paint and gives a good grip for following paint layers. All aboard has a first layer of white paint, and it's got the application of the acrylic gel. And as the next step, we'll go back to the paint, to the wall paint right here. And I think I'll be moving you just a little bit closer so you can see what's really happening here. I certainly hope this will show on the video. Well, let's see if we can make this visible for you. Just a minute, just gotta play with the tripod a little bit, get proper elevation. Sorry. Yeah, it's not working out as I have planned. Okay, now. Okay, I hope this shows. So now we'll take the wall paint again, and we apply a thicker layer this time. The trick is again to avoid having all kinds of bristles in there. I think I hate the choice of brush I've taken here. Man, this is bad stuff. Yeah, this is one more time. $1 spent in quality is $1 well spent. Okay, so now just taking a bigger layer of paint all over. Okay, now what we do is we carefully dab the bristles into the surface. And as you can see, we're pulling a very nice structure. This is a very, very nice watery structure coming from the paint itself. It's very easy to apply. It's no magic really. It's just very straightforward. Just have to take care that, you know, minor bubbles, air bubbles here may appear over time. Yeah, because there's a lot of air in the paint. Yeah, so it might take a little while for these bubbles to surface. So you have to reapply that dabbing motion to the surface a couple of times until no more bubbles turn up, and you have to be careful just to work with the tips of your bristle. Yeah, not with the full brush, it's just the tips. Yeah, and then you proceed towards the stern, and you always have to come back to erase the air bubble holes that appear, and try to get an even structure. It should be really wavy overall. They're not supposed to be any wave lines or something like that. It's just you want this wavy structure on top of it. Yeah, just pull up the paint by touching the paint with the bristles ever so slightly. Yeah, that's the whole trick. Okay, so I will be repeating this process until all the board is covered with paint. Later on there will be a little bit of a touch-up with a slightly thinned version of the color, just so all the bubbles that may occur will be filled. Okay, I will be showing you the final result as soon as I'm done. See you in a bit. Bye bye. All the surface has received a second layer of wall paint, and everything has dried. Now there's a step that needs to be done, which is a little bit redundant because this could have been solved earlier, but I forgot to cut the edge of the tape before applying the second layer, so it's difficult for me to say. So what I'll be doing is, you'll remember I had 2 layers of tape on the edges of the presentation, and what I'm doing now is I'll pull the topmost layer in a flat motion away to the outside, so you get a very nice and straight edge and you don't lift up too much of that paint. And not everything works out so well around the first time or the second time. It's just that you have to repeat things over and over again until they work out satisfactory. And sometimes you need a little longer, and sometimes things just work out better, but you got to be just careful to not damage the work you had previously invested in your project. As you can see, around the edges there are several traces of aluminum foil visible along the edges, and so you don't want to see these after the paint has been applied. So this is why I'm taking off the original masking and reapplying the masking again, just so when airbrushing the paint on, everything will be covered and everything will receive a bit of paint. And this will look not nice if aluminum foil can be seen around the edges. So this is why a new layer of masking tape needs to be applied at this point. And now we are ready to paint. For that, I'll be going back to my workbench.